Buck and Kmart are here. These jokers are here.
Jokers.
Jeff was doing wall squats at 3:45 this morning just to make the rest of us feel bad about ourselves. Let's start it with Championship Sunday statements, people, as we get this thing rolling towards the Final Four. Kmart, the Bills Sunday night will beat Kansas City if what?
If James Cook has himself a day.
Go!
Run the football. Listen, the last time they played, James Cook only rushed for 20 yards, and his longest run was 6 yards, right? But he has been on a tear, and Tembo sent me the stat. In the 4 playoff games with Joe Brady as his OC, averaging 92 scrimmage yards per game on 22 touches. He is the key. I know Josh Allen is important, but James Cook.
You've infected the show.
Oh, let's go to the other side. The Chiefs will win if what?
Hollywood Brown gets going. Last week he had 2 targets, no catches, but if you watch the All-22, his presence was felt. It was why Xavier Worthy was able to get plays down the field. It's why Travis Kelce had such a big day. The inclusion of Hollywood Brown into the lineup has right-sized their receiving core, and it's allowed everyone to see a lot more one-on-one matchups or versus zone. Travis Kelce eats all day. Hollywood has to keep going.
All right, let's go to the NFC game. Jeff, the Eagles will win if what?
Ooh, Saquon goes for 3 40-plus yard runs. The reason I'm saying 40 is because once he gets 40, he ain't catching them. They say it in half. So when you think about how the Eagles offense and their football team run, he is the catalyst. It keeps the defense fresh. They're on the side, and they're getting explosive plays, low risk, high reward, running that football. He's tapping that helmet at the 20. That's insanity. But I love what they got. The best offensive line, or one of the best offensive lines in the league. They're going to run through there.
All right, and then, Nick, the other side of that, your hometown Commanders will win if what?
If the Eagles turn the ball over, which to Jeff's point, they don't do that much because they do those low-risk, very high explosive plays with running the ball. But if the Commanders can get an early lead and force the Eagles into throwing the ball, they might turn it over. And, I mean, a fumble or something could happen. The Commanders are in a tough spot here, but it's not impossible.
All right, so these teams played each other. Let's focus on the NFC game for a moment. These teams played each other a few days before Christmas, and that game is mostly remembered for Jayden Daniels throwing 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
It could also be remembered that was the day Jalen Hurts got hurt. That was when the concussion began, which he didn't come back, of course, until the playoffs. Now he's hurt again. What do we know about this knee that was an ugly-looking play that we saw the other day?
So the good news is that today we will see and hear from, I almost said Jayden Daniels, Jalen Hurts today. Listen, Nick Sirianni said on the radio this week that they're going forward as though Jalen will play and will start. And so Wednesday, big day of practice, right? You get on the field. We'll be able to see how much he does, if he's a full participant, if he's limited, and it'll give us our first sense of where he is in terms of the knee injury. But as you can see, being bent like that in that situation, not good.
Yeah, a full participant has a lot of different meanings when it comes to him.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to fully participate in practice. It's another thing to fully participate in the running game, which is such a huge part of what he does.
Yeah, his ability to threaten, it's another blocker. Someone has to account for him. And obviously it's not Lamar Jackson, but it's a threat that you have to account for. He can get 6, 7, he can get 20 yards if you disrespect him in the running attack. If they're not going to use him in that way, that makes it a little bit harder. Like, you're going to get fewer opportunities for explosive plays in the running game. So it matters, and I think it also changes the coverages that he can see. Getting on the edge and being able to threaten to run, it makes it easier to complete passes to the one-on-ones that they are most certainly going to see against the Commanders.
Yeah.
The completion of passes hasn't been a particularly high priority, however, for this offense, right?
That's exactly. Let's go back to the Hurts of it all. The other issue is, if you think about when they played last time and Pickett comes in because of the injury, they can play you differently defensive wise. They understand they can stop Saquon because there's not that same threat of what Hurts did. I think it was the second or third play of the game last week where he takes it 44 plus yards for a touchdown. Those are going to be the kind of the how healthy is he? Even if he is on the field, are they willing to put him at risk? I would say this, though, because of the time of season, it's all out. Like, you're not holding anything back. If you're hurt, you're playing through whatever pain you can. You're going to go till you can't go anymore. So I would say you're going to see him. He's going to get out there, but how limited does it make it? How does their defense change? How the Commanders' defense change if they see he is limited, and now they kind of play a blanket around there for the Saquon factor?
Yeah, and to your point, this is playoff football. There is no doubt in my mind Jalen Hurts is going to play, and what it does is it makes the Washington Commanders prepare for more scenarios. If you can throw a bunch at him, like, well, maybe Kenny Pickett's going to play. If they do this, then we'll do that. You create the confusion, and they're going to have their menu full when they're trying to stop that run because of what Jalen and the threat that he has on the outside when you're running. As you talked about it, they're going to want to stack the box, right? But what does that mean? That means there's opportunities for big plays. If Jalen isn't there, the stacking the box is more advantageous because you're stacking into an area versus the threat of him pulling and hitting the outside.
I was going to say, against the stack box, Himbo gave me this. Against an 8-man box, Saquon's had a 78-yard touchdown run, a 72, and a 39-yard against Washington in their second game. That's massive because what it does is there is no safety. It's safety one-on-one. He's trying to make that. No one's going to tackle him one-on-one, very rarely. So you're basically putting all your eggs in. Saquon's not going to beat us. We're going to force it. He still has beaten people. That's the difference.
Well, so let's teach a little bit here because you guys taught me something a little bit this morning. Most people who only understand the game to some degree on a rudimentary level, as I do, would say, okay, you want to stop Saquon Barkley, you load the box. What is the danger of loading the box against him?
Yeah, explosive plays coming off of that. Think about this. You see the 3rd and 1s and the 4th and 1s happen in the NFL where all of a sudden the guy gets that 1 yard and then he goes 30 plus. Because everybody has a specific gap and they're all up tight to the line of scrimmage. So if it gets jumbled up and the running back does happen to get through the hole, there's no one there to stop them. Everybody has put the risk in. We're going to be toes at the feet of the defensive lineman, that's the linebackers, and the safeties at the feet or the heels of the lineman. So there's no one back. There's no blanket. There's no coverage to help. And I'm just telling you, offensive linemen, we actually like this because it does become, if we can block 2 with 1, and that just has to be a push. All of a sudden, those runs become explosive. It is encouraged.
You're more likely to have explosive runs when a team is loading the box. But when it's Saquon Barkley, it's even more dangerous because we saw last week, he'll set these blocks up. It's something that Jeff and I have talked about a lot, that there are some running backs that you hand the ball to and they run to where the play is designed. There are some running backs who you hand the ball to and it's reminiscent of Le'Veon Bell, where he'll put his head in one hole. And then you move over there and then Jeff then has leverage. Then he'll come back to find the hole that he's then created. And then if you're all loaded in the box, one person gets out of the gap, you're already on the safety. Then again, it's the safety in open field, and we've seen Saquon do it far too many times this year.
Yes, and that's why I'm less worried about the Philadelphia Eagles pass game. Because they're so special in the run game. And if a team decides to overcommit to stop the run, you are leaving A.J. Brown one-on-one. And you say what you want about Jalen Hurts or any quarterback in the NFL, all of them can throw the ball effectively when you have one-on-one coverage and A.J. Brown. Think the Notre Dame-Ohio State game. You're going to put that guy out there on an island on A.J. Brown, it's going to get ugly.
Like where your head is.
And a lot of the conversation after that game was about, to Kellen Moore, about the 65 net passing yards. Like, what's the explanation for that? What is that? And his reaction was, yeah, that's not ideal. So and every time we bring up the A.J. Brown of it all and where are his targets, why are they not feeding him the ball? They turn around and they start feeding the wide receivers. This is a game where the Eagles can beat you multiple ways. And I think Bart Scott always says styles make fights, right? And what's great about the Eagles is that they don't necessarily have to always rely on Saquon. They can beat you in the air. But he is a wonderful attribute in this offense, so why not take advantage of it?
Well, I mean, can they? That's really the question here. Hembo said it on the radio the other day. We can phrase it differently. They had 195 passing feet in the game the other day. That was, you can actually count their passing by
Come on,
feet.
Hembo.
That's crazy. And well, I mean, you can't do that with most teams, right? It's kind of hard to do the math in your head. With them, it came kind of quickly. So that's the point. I know I ask this every week.
But I'm old enough to remember when people were killing Jalen Hurts for the lack of a passing game. And then against the Steelers, he sat down and was like, is that what you guys wanted to see? And this chatter about A.J. Brown and this passing offense, like, I get it, but they have Saquon too. Like, I don't understand why.
That was a great attempt by Jalen to get us to stop talking about it, but didn't work. We still see the film. But you're right, though, because they're such a special running offense in this day and age, it's different from what we say is modern football in that way. Like,
it's the strategy of football. You have to be really good at something. So good at something that it forces the defense to compromise themselves to stop that. You're not going to be able to stop or even slow this rushing attack without compromising your coverage. Okay, so you're going to get in man coverage. They have advantages out there also. If you want to get in zone coverage, they go RPO on you and put your linebackers in run pass conflict, and they have tackles playing guard, 6-7 guys playing guard. Like, it's a tough setup.
Can we just say, just look down there and circle that points per game. 7th in the league. 27 points per game, and they don't throw the football. That is how. That is your way of winning. You start trying to go throw the football, bad things can happen. First of all, Hurts takes a lot of sacks because he'll hold the ball even when he shouldn't. He won't throw it away. That's gotta change. Those kinds of things. So don't change the formula. The formula reason. Don't change it. Allow it to continue.
It's winning football, and that's what this is about. Now, if I'm A.J. Brown as a wide receiver on the team,
it stinks.
It stinks. It's not fun. We're winning, but I also want to catch passes. I also want to be able to demand bigger contracts because it's still a business. But as it pertains to how they're playing their game, this is what puts them in the best position
Can I say this
to win a
about
Super Bowl.
A.J. Brown, too? Because I love that you said that. And that's 100% fair and true. But this dude freaking blocks his butt off. Devontae Smith blocks it. Like, they don't just throw their boy under the bus. They do their freaking job. I can't tell you how much respect I have for that, because I don't care if you're going and reading a book on the freaking sideline. When you show up, bro, and it's about us winning, he is about winning. And if you don't want to pay somebody because they want to win, bro, you got the wrong guy. You got the wrong guy paying. Like, that dude wants to win. And if he's called on to be a star, he would be a star. But by God, like, I'm just telling you, that ain't everyone. Hawk wouldn't be that guy. Hawk would not be that guy. Hawk would make business decisions.
To be fair, they already paid AJ. But it's a little different if you didn't have a contract.
You can always use another contract. Ain't nobody turning those down.
I love how much Jeff loves blocking.
I do, man.
You can do whatever you want. But if you block,
as soon as he gets a GM job, I'm back in the league, bro.
Full participant. That's my man.
A pretty decent game. Other quarterbacks, they have a hard time getting past it and often put the ball up for grabs the rest of the ball game.
And a productive gain out to the 14 after starting at the 7. It's a gain of 7. 7 yards the pick up there. 3 yards remain for second down. Fitzpatrick now. Slings this deep from McLaurin. It got his man complete. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. Quite a show of arm strength right there. That was in the air for a long time, and it was on target, too.
And from where we sit, if you had told me that ball was somehow going to get from point A to point B, I would have told you no way. I mean, that was an absolute cannon shot, and he still dropped it right on the money, too.
And that ball traveling 68 yards in the air, according to next time. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. They'll fake the handoff. Now Smith. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback, 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you're doing a big way, and what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
3rd and long, it's Smith escaping the pressure right. Slings this deep. This is caught inside the 15. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington.